I really have a real concern that we are losing that. And as you said, it's very difficult for people to get any farming, but I think we have to try and help those farmers that we have in our community now as well. So from my perspective, I will support the bylaw. Thank you, Mr. Acting Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Garrison. Councillor Black.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. If I may, through you, I'd like to ask staff a couple of questions before I start. The first is to, I guess, Mr. Gregg, the planner. I notice, Mr. Gregg, that you are one of the people listed on the May 5th staff report, which identifies your and your Ms. Burns, the Director of Planning's professional opinion that at that time you viewed the proposal to be inconsistent with the District of Central Sanchez OCP. Is there anything material to the application that changes your professional opinion with respect to the analysis of this proposal?
Mr. Chair, through you, Councillor Wilson, short answer is this point, no. Thank you.
And the second question was the same question to Mr. Nason, our CAO. He has also recommended that we took option A in that same staff report, which recommended that the applicant be required to revise the plan to make it consistent with the official community plan. I take it from that he also had concerns about the consistency of the proposal with the District of Central Sanchez official community plan, and I would ask him the same question: is there any material change to the application that would make you change your professional opinion? Thank you. So, having heard that, I won't talk about statistics. I've heard that saying before that Councillor Garrison said, and being that my wife is a statistician, I think I'd be pretty brave to impugn statistics. But I will talk a little bit about the law, because I think there is a prior question that has to be addressed here before we are really in a position to even embrace the question that has been brought forward in the motion, the third reading of the bylaw. And I know that members of council don't consider themselves to be above the law. I won't suggest that. However, in this situation, the provincial law is very clear. Section 884 of the Local Government Act requires that councils only approve bylaws which are consistent with our official community plan. I raised this issue when the May 5th staff report was brought forward, and unfortunately council did not support obtaining a legal opinion at that time. However, I would suggest that the law is sufficiently clear and in the public domain clear that there is this requirement under Section 884 of the Local Government Act that bylaws are required to be consistent with our official community plan. We've heard from our professional staff that this proposal is not consistent with our official community plan. In order for this bylaw, if it's approved, to be upheld, my analysis would lead me to believe that it would require two things to take place, at least. First of all, the bylaw would either have to be not challenged, and there's significant doubt about whether that would happen, in that there's been a great deal of opposition and concern expressed by the community about this proposal. And secondly, for it to be upheld by a justice, that justice would have to take the position that our professional staff are incorrect in their ruling. That's not a position that I am able to suspend disbelief sufficiently to support. it requires one to set aside rational thought and engage in magical thinking. I am therefore not willing to compromise the community's confidence in our professional staff to the extent that I would disagree with their professional opinions. And I am therefore unable to support the bylaw, whether it is worthy on other merits or not. It's a matter of law that the bylaw is required to be consistent with our community plan.
Thank you. Councillor Hughes.
Yes, Mr. Acting Mayor. My reason for moving forward is a vote in favor of farming. It's interesting that certain councillors who are opposed in the past have also disagreed with staff, whether it's with budget issues or on previous zoning issues. So now it's convenient that they want to be in support of 100% of staff, yet at other times, even on issues of the large municipal budget or other issues, they're opposed to it. The zoning, which is RE5, which is the current zoning within the municipality. Mr. Vantreight made a decision to purchase the property from his brother in order to save the farm. It would have been just as easy for him to allow the property to go for sale and subdivide it into smaller parcels. He is willing, after a motion that I had made, to keep the 235 acres in two parcels, 60 and 175 acres with a covenant, both in favor of the municipality and a third party, such that no future subdivision of the property will ever be allowed. One of the things is to protect farmland. We heard that a lot about this. The trees up on the top, if Mr. Vantreight wanted to farm it, as some have suggested, would be allowed to be clear cut. Any oak trees or anything that's up there would be allowed to clear cut, and you could put greenhouses, take the top off the hill, or do whatever. But he's not. We're saving 235 acres for future generations. We've seen too many times 100 acres become 250-acre parcels, 250-acre parcels become 425-acre parcels, and so on. This protects 235 acres of true farmland for future generations. There's no public money involved. There's no public fundraisers or future fundraisers. There's no government bailout. You know, as some speakers have said, they've heard things at the public hearing, and you can use numbers in whichever way they were. But I guess the situation is municipalities not in the situation of granting large amounts of money to buy farmland. Mr. Vantreight and his family are willing to provide 235 acres that will be protected forever, no future subdivision. They're also providing a community park and a community farm garden, and doing this up against an area that's zoned in a much higher density of bordering North Saanich. So I believe that if we go back even into biblical times, rock was to be built on and farmland was to be saved. And that's what this proposal does, and that's why I'm in favor of it.
Thank you.
This has been really difficult. And over the last few months, it's been really challenging. I just want to make this a separate statement here. As I have been singled out, inundated with calls, emails, and even threats. My name has been used on postcards and handouts without my permission. Just to clarify, I have never been associated with any group. I have no personal interest, one way or another, in the outcome of this rezoning. I have been told if I vote a certain way, I will be committing political suicide. I will be basing my decision on what I feel in my heart is the best thing for the future of Central Saanich. Sitting at the public hearing and prior to it, I heard people speak with passion and sincerity. Sometimes it was difficult to separate the emotion from the facts. I have talked to farmers, residents, and business people, and one thing came through loud and clear. I heard people speak with one common theme: saving our farmland, ecosystems, and ensuring food security. We have all sorts of guidelines, such as our OCP, which is a living document, and which we review every few years to keep up with the changing times. Well, times aren't just changing, they have changed.